Are you struggling to think of a team to manage in F1 Manager? Well, I've got 3 teams that are crying out for you to help them. Yes, the first one is Aston Martin, a team that has flattered to deceive since changing their name from Racing Point into Aston Martin. Currently under the ownership of Lawrence Stroll, I think this team is a sleeping giant. How good would it be to potentially get the Aston Martin name to the top of the grid? Now, I also think you've got a little bit of a dilemma there, because you've got the world champion in Sebastian Vettel nearing the end of his career. And Lance Stroll is an interesting one, because some people say he's just in there because it's his dad's team. Some people say that he's in there on merit. You know, you have to remember the good old days when Lance Stroll was at Williams getting, you know, that second place in Baku. But you'll have a decision to make on drivers potentially early on. Do you give Sebastian Vettel a season? Does he perform for you? Do you look to move him on? Do you look to move on Lance Stroll straight away at the beginning of the season? Or do you give him a chance to perform and see how he does in the game? See if you can develop him into potentially a world champion. So I think on the drivers front, there's plenty of things that you can do and plenty of things that you can play with quite early on as a team. And as I said, it's a team that's a sleeping giant. So potentially building the facilities up, potentially in a couple of seasons, getting that team ready to build for a championship might be a really interesting team to take charge of. Now, the second team is Ferrari. Now, why would we want to take charge of Ferrari? They're like the best team. They're gonna win races all the time. That's all you're gonna do. It's gonna be too easy. Why on earth would you manage Ferrari? It's simple. It is so simple. They don't know how to run a strategy. Oh, how many times have we had our hands in our heads this season? And just think of the latest race which I've done, which has been recorded at Paul Ricard. Carlos Sainz could have easily finished third. Yes, I understand that, you know, the tyres could have exploded. They could have got a punch and ended up no points. This way they've got some points and they got the extra point for fastest lap. But do you do what Ferrari don't do? Do you risk it for a chocolate biscuit? Stay out, see if you can overtake that 5-second deficit from the penalty and get that third place finish. That's the interesting thing with Ferrari. They just seem to make too many strategy mistakes, which has just cost them race after race after race. And therefore, with you in charge of Ferrari, you can maybe live that dream that Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz really want to, and providing them with an operation to win a championship in that first season. So if you're looking for a team where you just want to win instantly and see how to get to grips with the game, it might be a great team to start off with. And then when you're watching Formula One, you go, oh, I would have made a far better decision the Ferrari strategy team would have done in the race, and you'll go and say, I'm a genius. So maybe that could be a team that you would like to manage. Final team that I think is worth managing in F1 Manager is Williams, a team that has fallen from its glory days, trying its hardest to build its way back up. Even if you go back to the beginning of the turn of the decade, and the turn of the last decade, 2010, they were all right. You know, those days of Felipe Massa and Valtteri Bottas in 2014, you know, it's only 8 years ago, and they were fighting for podiums. So it's all gone downhill, and I think it would be a really good project to try and bring Williams from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. So those who like a project, those who like a management game with a bit of a rebuild, a bit of a restructure to do, Williams could be the perfect team for you. Go there, you're at the back, you've got to build a platform, move steadily up, because I'm hoping it's not going to be just a linear progress and, you know, by the 4th race of the season you're already winning races with Williams, because that would be horrific if that was the case. But it should be a linear process of building up, season upon season, and hopefully by the 3rd, 4th season, you might start being in a position to win with the Williams if you get everything correct. And also you've got, you know, drivers in Albon and Latifi drivers that both you could potentially get rid of, both that you could potentially develop and see if you can make them any better, and helping you lead that charge. So I think there's a lot of decisions that you can make, in terms of the team members that you can bring in. Can you steal someone from McLaren, steal an Adrian Newey from Red Bull potentially? You could potentially steal engineers to help make your team better and try that proper rebuilding process for your team. And I think that's the main reason why you should manage Williams. Well, I hope that helped in deciding who you would like to manage in F1 Manager in a couple of weeks' time. Put in the comments what team you would like to manage, and I'm really interested to see who you pick. I have been GoofyGiord. Make sure that you kick that subscribe button, hit that like button. It would really help if you've enjoyed this video. And you can also follow me on Twitch, in the Twitch link just there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.